Hey there, folks. As far as you're concerned, my name is Freak with a Pen, and this is the Whatever Wednesday stream, and we are playing Detective Grimoire, Secret of the Swamp. I thought, we beat Tangle Tower. The Mermaid's Tongue is coming out sometime this year. Might as well go back throughout the series. It's a series I like, why not? Let me just go ahead and check and make sure that I am not being completely drowned out by the audio of the game. My channel. How's it sound? What do we got? I'm going to turn it down a little bit. There it is at 25. 30. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay. Alright, here we go. Play. I guess I've never played this on this PC. Headphones strongly recommended. Ah, good, because that's kind of how I have to play it. Tom Vane. Art by Adam Vienne. Backgrounds by Kecha Unga.
2025 last night, a murder occurred in a remote part of this swamp. A small tourist attraction, deep within the heart of the marsh.
Hold on. A tourist attraction? Here? I don't get it. Why would anyone come here by choice?
I've explained this already. This area is famous.
Famous? All I read was that some idiot thought they saw an alien here 100 years ago.
Get your facts straight for once. We're talking about a creature that's lived in the swamp for over 60 years.
Okay, so it's a 60-year-old baby. I still don't see why it matters.
If it matters to anyone, it's you. That creature is our prime suspect.
The murder suspect?
That's right. This is no Loch Ness monster. You need to be taking this seriously.
No, look, come on. How am I supposed to arrest something that might not exist?
You've always enjoyed a challenge before. You can start by reading this.
Our case file? There's not a lot of it, is there?
As usual, we only know the bare essentials at this point.
Might have to move over my, Police file. Richard Remington, founder of the tourist attraction Boggy's Bog, was found dead outside his office at 20:45 last night. Exact cause of death unknown. 3 small wounds to the chest suggest an attack from a clawed creature. Slime around the wound and footprints found at the scene suggest the culprit was Boggy, the legendary swamp creature. Any of the 7 other people present in the swamp last night could hold vital information. Oh, these are just more... okay. That's a big doofy smile. But, yeah. Richard Remington was, oh, right. Lord Remington. From the family tree, at Tangle Tower.
Our murder victim, Richard Remington, he was in charge of this, tourist attraction. Boggy's Bog? What a name.
Boggy is the name of our creature. Well, nowadays it is.
You mean that stupid cartoon character? I've heard of him. That thing is our murder suspect?
There's more to Boggy than the cartoon character, I promise you. This is the place it all began. You'll find out soon enough.
Ooh. That cutscene though. Chapter 1. A swamp full of secrets.
Your case file's in the top right. You can look at your clues and suspect profiles in here. When you've collected some, of course. I'll stay and guard our boat, so if you're confused, come back here and I'll help you.
Boggy and Mr. Remington, any clues, case file, notes. Okay. What's this? Oh, that's just like settings, okay. Alright, okay.
That's where I need to go. I can switch to walk mode with the button in the bottom right. Oh, and if I'm feeling confident, I can turn off those sparkly hit icons in the options menu.
Which I'm not going to do! I love it. I love the little animation of the guy in the corner.
Oh! Wow, you didn't get lost yet.
No, I only just got here. Who are you?
You don't remember. Of course, you're not great at remembering. I should be offended, though.
You're that weird girl from the fairground.
You're that weird girl from the fairground.
Saw your hat flow through here already. You must be slow, if it wouldn't even wait for you.
Well, if you'll let me, I'd better go after it. You can wait here and behave.
You'll get lost. I would never forgive myself if I let you go through without the map.
You have a map of the swamp?
Not anymore. I'm giving it to you.
You should really stay here. It's dangerous. There's been a murder. Although I suppose you know all about it already?
They're saying it was the creature, but it can't be him. He doesn't seem like a killing sort of creature. Nope. He's a different sort of creature.
Wait, what do you mean? If you... she disappeared.
Yeah, for some
I
reason...
might pretend I imagined her.
For some reason in each of the games, your assistant is a suspect from the previous game. Don't know why.
It's an old statue of Boggy. His feet are hidden in a bucket of murky water. Is an opportunity for a photographic memento. The two characters are an explorer and Boggy himself. Are they fighting? I still don't quite understand why we have a tourist attraction here. Don't forget to use walk mode to move around. Just my luck, the gate's closed. Looks like I can move these metal latches around. I should just have to slide at least one of them out of the bottom of the lock. Then I'll be able to get through this gate. Probably.
What a terrible lock. Like, it's just like a middlingly difficult puzzle. It's like how Raven...
Hey, nice. I might get one of these from my office.
It's like how Ravenclaw canonically just has...
Tourist attraction?
Just has a riddle keeping people out of their dorm.
The whole thing just doesn't make sense to me. Let's do some thinking. Drag any two stray thoughts into those slots at the bottom, and flick through the connecting statements in between to make a sentence. Tap the confirm button to try it out. I just have to focus my thoughts and reach a conclusion. Boggy's Bog seems like the middle of nowhere.
Like, seriously, I get that you're supposed to be the smart house and everything, but you know what doesn't make you look like the smart house at Hogwarts? When yours is the easiest house to break into. My beard isn't warm enough for the tourist attraction. To murder someone.
My beard isn't warm enough for the tourist attraction to murder someone. I'm losing my mind here.
Anyway. I think it's, the tourist attraction is way too big, is too stupid, is too remote for... Oh, no, wait, no, it's, the swamp is too far remote, to make any money. Here we go.
The swamp is far too remote for the tourist attraction to make any money.
Yeah!
It's really bugging me. What's the story behind this place? There's a hollow part of the tree right at the front, but it's too dark to see inside. Note to self, don't fall in.
Well, it's a fucking bog.
There's a
I
hollow
saw
part.
eyes! Show yourself, you coward! Alright. I'll play your game, you Get it!
There's a hollow... These flower petals seem a little out of place, lying on the ground over there. A rather prominent tree stump looming over the wooden pathway. It's hard to ignore. I should visit the crime scene before I do anything else. I think Officer James said it was to the west.
Alright, fine.
There's a narrow path here leading up that hill and through the trees. It doesn't look inviting. I'm not sure it's part of the tourist attraction.
Here we go.
So, this is where they found Remington's body. There's an open window above Remington's body. One of the curtains is ripped and hanging on the outside. The strange footprints stop right by these reeds. Maybe I should take a closer look. Maybe I can move some of them out of the way.
Haha. Why was that one so loud?
A strange pair of green flippers, badly hidden in the reeds outside the office.
Strange green flippers who left these lying around.
I can't get in here without a key. And I don't feel like kicking the door down. Maybe if I get desperate later on. So... maybe... There are bizarre... And back down into those reeds by the water.
Oh, was I supposed to look at those for... Okay.
What's this? There's a lockpick dropped amongst the weeds down here in the water. I just have to work out which vine to break and tap that button.
Gotta tap the bubbles in the swamp. 3.
That's the one, but I wonder where this lockpick came from.
Most likely used to by the murderer to break into the Remington's office.
Maybe...
Well, use the fucking...
maybe...
Grim, you have a fucking lockpick. Use it, you fool! Alright, fine, fuck it.
I may.
Okay, I just thought it was an option.
Ah, some suspects. Let's get this investigation started.
How's it going,
Alright,
thumbhead?
Let's see, another suspect for my notebook.
That's a little rude.
No, I'm sorry. Did I say that bit out loud?
Maybe not. Maybe I can hear your thoughts.
So would you be able to answer my questions before I asked you?
Would you be able to question my answers before I tell you?
I could try.
I'm Bobby
That's-
Pearl,
what?
professional cameraman. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Detective Grimoire. I'm here to investigate last night's murder. Obviously.
Grimoire. Strange. Is that your first name?
It's my 23rd name, but it's the one I like the best. Oh, God. Oh, these are all gold.
It's my second name. Detective is my first name. So you already told me what you do, but now, why would a cameraman be working here?
I go where I'm needed. Vincent wanted to come to the swamp, and I was happy to help.
Vincent Vanderpeer. You mean that man standing on that rock over there?
That's right. I've worked with him for many years.
Is he your boss?
Oh, I don't know about that. We work together. He's tried to film here before, but he never got permission until about a week ago.
Oh, really? But why did you want to come here in the first place?
If you're looking for a reason to write down in your notebook, I'm sure he can tell you if you ask him. I'm just the guy who carries around the camera.
You always carry that camera with you?
Most of the time.
You were here yesterday,
Last
I
night?
presume? Last night?
Yes, I was.
Here, in this clearing?
No, I was over at the cafe getting something to eat. Richard Remington was there too.
Remington? You saw him last night? Just before the murder?
That's right, I saw him. He left the cafe looking rather ill. I offered to help, but he just wanted to go back to his office. He looked like he had a lot on his mind.
He was ill yesterday?
Perhaps it was something he ate.
Any idea what this
Some
is?
evidence from last night's murder?
Talk to him again later.
Yes, do you have a message for me?
No. I don't think so.
Then why are you here? I'm incredibly busy.
You don't look it. Who are you, anyway?
Sorry, just taking out my
You're
microphone
serious?
from the
I
headphones that I'm
am
wearing.
Vincent Vanderpeer,
The famous movie director?
the artist, the visionary, the auteur. I'm a man of many talents.
Sure you are, Clamhead. Well, that one's just rude.
That's great. Let's hope you have a talent for answering my questions.
You're in my light. Could you take a few steps back, please?
But then I'd be too far away to talk to you.
I know.
Can anyone just walk in here and start filming?
Vincent Vanderpeer only recently got permission from, presumably, Richard Remington. My eyebrows. To murder the victim, to leave the swamp forever, to film here in the swamp.
Vincent Vanderpeer only recently got permission from Richard Remington to film here in the swamp. I wonder if Mr. Vanderpeer has been breaking rules.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have an excuse. What's a famous guy like you doing in a place like this?
Quite. I'm sure you're thinking, why doesn't he send an assistant? But that's not the way this director works.
But what are you doing?
I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, I'm discovering. This area, the history, the atmosphere, it's the perfect setting for my next film. I'm on a scouting mission to get to know this swamp before I begin work on the latest masterpiece in a string of masterpieces.
You're making a movie about Boggy? About the swamp creature?
Of course. He's a fascinating individual, isn't he? So mysterious.
No idea. I haven't met him yet. Is that your cameraman over there?
Yes, that's right. Bobby Burl, my faithful right-hand man. Well, faithful enough, you know.
No, I don't know.
He's an expert cameraman. Really knows his trade, of course. But he gets a bit muddled when it comes to priorities.
Like how? You mean he's lazy? He doesn't look lazy. He looks a bit scary.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. He just has a little hobby that sometimes distracts him from his work. But I wouldn't want anyone else shooting for me.
Sorry, just gonna get a real quick sip of my drink.
Were you working yesterday? Here in the swamp, I mean?
Indeed I was working. Very hard indeed. Well into the night.
Hard work, is it? Getting to know the swamp?
You jest. But yesterday I was getting even more involved than usual, yes. Difficult to comprehend, I know.
So what kind of work were you doing?
Well, I was, unable to find my faithful cameraman last night. He had hidden himself quite completely from view.
Bobby Burl, right? Did you need him to film for you?
Always. But being a resourceful type of man, I stepped up and took on the responsibility myself. I was filming in this exact area, in fact.
You were filming? Last night? Here?
Yes, at the time of the murder, I believe. But wait, I know what you're thinking. Now, don't forget, I'm not here to shoot some experimental documentary. I have no interest in late-night surveillance footage.
Did you see anything at all? What is it you were filming?
The water. I was filming the water. It's a fascinating subject, one that has me captivated to the point where
So, you didn't see anything useful? Got excited there for a minute.
Nothing useful to you, my good detective. But there are some odd sounds on the audio track. Nothing but wild animals going about their nighttime rituals, I'm sure.
Is there something I should ask the cameraman?
Doesn't explain why. Lied to me because told me that. Vincent Vanderpeer told me that Bobby Burl was the murderer, was nowhere to be found last night.
Vincent Vanderpeer told me that Bobby Burl was nowhere to be found last night. Simple enough. What was Mr. Burl doing last night that meant he couldn't help out his boss?
Now to challenge
I heard
Vincent
this
Vanderpeer.
isn't the first time you've tried to film here.
Where? In the swamp? What are you talking about?
Remington never found out about your previous attempts. Remington has denied you filming permission in this
Remington has
here
denied
in
you
the
the
past.
filming permission in the past.
Oh, that. Nothing but the natural process of being in a profession like mine. Every situation simply requires the right approach before the gears start turning smoothly. You understand, I'm sure.
Why did Remington not want you filming here? And why did he change his mind?
It wasn't even up to him. This area is protected, you know. There are certain rules, certain regulations. I encounter this kind of thing all the time, really.
That doesn't explain why he changed his tune.
Fucking music
It's a
going
little
hand,
suspicious.
Jesus.
Why would you say that?
A famous movie director suddenly gets his way.
Famous movie director suddenly gets his way.
I wonder how that happened. Time to use my notebook. Just drag an item onto the paper to draw the idea.
I am famous. I am the boss.
Right. That's the one. I think you bribed Remington to get the filming rights.
Well, bribe is a strong word. It was just a little arrangement between
Is it an
friends.
incorrect
Nothing
word?
worth getting upset about. I simply promised him a cut of my next movie's profits. It made sense, since he owned the area anyway. Just a favor for a favor.
So you would have owed him money.
Only a small percentage, simply out of courtesy. And not for a long time, either.
What are these? Oh. Footage recorded last night at the exact time of the murder, filmed by Vincent Vanderpeer in the clearing on the west side of the swamp near the crime scene. There's nothing to see. Various clues can be heard on the audio track. Listen to them in order. Okay, so this is the murderer presumably going into Remington's office. Remington seeing him. Murderer shooting it. Or... No, because he... Maybe Remington taking a shot at the murderer? Murderer presumably stabbing Remington with something. And him out crying because of it. Presumably him falling out the window, thud, and what's this other climb? Anyway, let's talk to Bobby again.
I heard from Mr. Vanderpeer over there that you were nowhere to be found last night.
Didn't I say I was at the cafe?
Yeah, you did. But your director needed you for some filming, and he couldn't find you. What were you doing that was so important?
Well, let's see. After I ate, I had a walk around the swamp. I didn't have my camera, so I was free to stretch my legs for once.
Where was your camera? Don't you carry it around with you all the time?
No, not all the time.
He lost it in the swamp, left it with Vanderpeer, and he used it instead.
You left it with Vanderpeer, and he used it instead that night.
That's right, he was looking after that camera. So I went for a late-night stroll. This place is beautiful in the evenings.
You just walked around? You didn't do anything? Didn't see anyone?
Well, I can't say that. I have various ways to pass the time, you know.
Vanderpeer said you had a hobby on the side.
Vanderpeer said you had a hobby on the side.
Is that what he said? Well, yes, he's right. I brought 2 cameras with me when I came here. I left my video camera, yes. But I have another one. It's much smaller, and it only takes black and white photographs. You know the kind I mean?
A really old one?
Yes, I suppose so. I've always enjoyed traditional photography, and this place is a wonderful opportunity to take some pictures of a natural environment.
So, you were having some time off to take black and white photographs? For fun?
Only one photograph. You have to be disciplined when you're not using a digital camera.
Can I see it?
Of course. I took it near the woods at the back of the swamp. It's quite an interesting shot. But here we are.
Oh,
feel free to take a look.
Wait, what? This is a photo?
I haven't developed it yet. I only took it last night. Just brush the developing fluid over the photo to reveal the image.
What? Is that Boggy? The swamp
What?
creature just standing in the water?
It could be. Personally, I'm not convinced, but I'll let you decide for yourself.
Meaning the photo seems to have long legs. Shows some crime.
This area is kind of empty. I don't think it's a window, but this hatch is shut at the moment. I can't see inside. This side of the museum is surrounded by blue and red flowers. That museum is, which makes it look even more out of place in the swamp. Is it being held up in wooden supports? It's bizarre. The door's jammed unless I can get these brass handles out of the way. Seems like I can rotate them around, just until the gap in the middle is clear. That top hat guy would have so struggled with this one.
Fucking Grimoire talking shit on Professor Layton.
Let's see here. This journal belonged to the explorer. who first discovered Boggy in the swamp 60 years ago. I'd better take a look at this. This journal, it's full of drawings and notes all about Boggy. It seems to be the centerpiece of the entire museum.
A journal recorded 60 years ago by the explorer who first visited the swamp. The only record of Boggy existing contains notes and sketches on the appearance of the swamp creature. Boggy is shown with 3 small claws on each arm. Boggy's feet are always hidden in the water. There seems to be a page ripped from the back.
Models of Boggy's claws. Hold on. What's this? Something doesn't seem right here. I think I should try arranging these models into pairs. Something seems out of place. I don't think these gloves are part of the exhibit. It looks like someone tried to hide them here.
These fucking mitts.
There's a little door in the wall here. I think it leads outside. It's locked, though. So, let me guess, you don't work here, do you? I wonder if that makes you the first tourist I've seen today.
You're incorrect, detective. I am your tourist.
How did you know I was a detective? Was it my stylish trench coat? My sensitive, inquisitive manner?
It was the clueless expression on your face.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Right. That's it.
Yeah, that's the one.
You've done it now. What's your name?
I go by Folder. Agent Folder. What are you doing?
I'm writing bad things about you in my notebook.
I'm writing bad things about you in my notebook.
Anyway, your
So,
job?
if you're not a tourist, and you don't work here,
I am a scholar, an academic. I'm here to research the past and uncover the future.
so you're visiting the museum for fun.
Fun! Oh, there's nothing so simple as fun to be had here. I come to this museum night and day to study its secrets.
Ah, what kind of secrets? It's just a museum about Boggy, right? The swamp creature.
He's one of the most intriguing modern examples of cryptozoology. A fascinating combination of scientific fact and wild speculation.
I'm with you on the speculation front. Although, come to think of it, people have been hinting that I should find out about the history of this creature.
A wise suggestion. And you've come to the right person. My knowledge far exceeds anyone else you might have met so far.
If you're hearing
So,
weird little
you'll
popping
help
sounds, sorry, that's
I
me.
suppose I could divulge some of my findings
Fucking
with
around
you,
with something to keep my hands
if you're
busy
in the mood for a little light
during,
reading.
cutscenes.
Let me find it for you. Oh yeah, this'll do. Something for beginners at least.
Fuck you too, nerd boy. Information about Boggy collected by Agent Folder. Boggy's swamp became protected area after reports of hunting in the area. Boggy's appearance has changed from the original sketches, in which he has 3 claws on each arm. The modern characters are simple fin-like arms instead to make him less threatening. No footprints were recorded in the journal, but some experts believe that the information is out there somewhere.
So, Mr. Folder.
Agent Folder.
Yeah, were you here yesterday? What were you doing last night?
I was here, in the museum, going through my files one final time before disappearing into the night.
Don't museums usually close in the evenings?
They do. I've never been one to worry about other people's schedules. I come and go as I please. There's a key to every lock, Detective.
Oh, so you have the key to the museum?
Of course I don't. Why would you think that?
Well,
Once again, that clueless expression. I use a lockpick and get in through the small side door. I have a right to be here, you see. Remington has no business locking me out.
I see.
So I don't let him.
You just admitted to breaking the law. If everyone did that, my job would be a lot easier.
It's not my best lockpick. This new one's cheap. I used to own one, a superior model. Unfortunately, I misplaced it in one of the darker corners of the swamp, so
I'm writing down your confession about sneaking around here at night.
And what are you gonna do? Report me to Remington? Good luck, my friend.
No,
I need
I'm
to
going to
pick
report
my
you to the
questions
police.
carefully.
Because I'm a detective. And that's my fucking job. What kind of fucking... Anyway. The lockpick found near Remington's body might belong to Ancient
A
Folder.
lockpick I found near Remington's body might belong to Agent Folder. As far as I know, Agent Folder is experienced with lockpicks. I wonder if he's hiding something. I have a bone to pick with you.
Are you setting yourself up for a joke? Something about a lockpick?
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Stop distracting me. I'm trying
Could
to
be,
interrogate you.
possibly.
My apologies. Go ahead.
So, what are we showing Folder now? Where did I
Lockpick.
find this again?
For fuck's sake, man.
I found a lockpick at the scene of the crime.
Oh, apparently you did. Why does this concern me?
It's fucking yours, dude. You already admitted to owning a lockpick and using it to open locked doors.
You already admitted to owning one of these, and how you're ever so happy to come and go as you please with it, am I right? Be honest.
Luckily for me, Detective, I was honest with you. I believe I have already explained that second lockpick before you even found it.
You lost your lockpick in a swamp and had to buy a new
You
one.
lost your lockpick in the swamp and had to buy a new one.
That's right. I appreciate you finding it for me. However, I won't ask for it back. Apparently, it has since become some diabolical instrument in the art of murder.
Yeah, it's an important piece of evidence.
That ties you directly to the murder scene. Alright, fine. Let's go ahead and talk to him about a few of
Actually,
these things.
this is a classic example of a cryptid photograph.
What's a cryptid?
A creature unknown to science. Look at the slight blurring in this photo, the murky exposure. It's perfect.
It's perfect because it can't really be used as evidence?
Now you're catching on. An important piece of the puzzle. This journal is a key to unlocking the history of this place. The real swamp creature had claws. 3 on each hand, to be precise. Why does the costume just have these pathetic fins instead? Guesswork. Nobody can know what Boggy's feet look like. It's his greatest secret. This file goes over some basic differences between the genuine creature and the cartoon character. It's nothing more than a basic overview, really.
There's a little door in the wall.
Alright, fine. Apparently it's not gonna let me go through.
What's
bubbles?
this? Looks like the stuff in the water has been moved around recently. Maybe if I reposition them, I'll find a clue.
Oh, no, wait, no, wait, hold on. I've got to combine it with this stuff down here. Okay, here we go. About time you decided to brain.
I recognize that footprint. It's the same as the one found at the crime scene. Someone please tell me why there's a house here. Well, the lights are on. Maybe somebody's home. The latch is broken on this door. Seems I can fix it with those 3 cogs if I just put them in the right place. Once they're on the right pins, I can move the handle at the bottom to try and open the door.
Alright. Perfect. I am amazing.
This is like an oven? Or is it just a boiler? It's so old-fashioned it hurts my brain. There's a whole load of needles and wool on that shelf. Or should I say yarn? I just don't know anymore. The owner of this house seems to enjoy reading. Though, I'm not sure what else there is to do up here, actually.
You just walked straight into my house, did you?
Not exactly. I had to climb first.
Not exactly. I had to climb up here first.
Normally, I have methods for dealing with unwanted attention. But I can make exceptions for harmless idiots.
Do you get any attention up here?
Most of the time, people like to leave me alone. But I don't think you're going to, are you?
No.
Probably not.
I could make an excuse and say it's my job to ask you about last night, but to be honest, I climbed all the way up here and I just like being indoors.
Well, if you insist on staying, I'll tell you. I'm Lady Weybridge, and I think you might be climbing up the wrong trees.
I'm Detective Grimoire, and I think I might agree with you. What do you do here? Did you work for Richard Remington?
I was living here before that man was even born. And I have absolutely nothing to do with him, or his little tourist attraction.
You're exaggerating. How long have you been here? Just in this treehouse? What do you do up here?
I've been here longer than anyone. Even longer than, well, anyone.
I like numbers.
60 years, something like that.
What have you been doing for that time? If you don't mind me asking.
I have many reasons to be here, but I won't bore you with all the details of my life.
I'm sure there's one detail worth writing down.
I like to study the plants and flowers in this area. I've learned many things from them.
Now, what about this little chemistry set you've got on your table?
I wouldn't call it a chemistry set, but if you bring me an object that has liquid on it, or inside it, I'll tell you what that liquid consists of.
Wow, how do you do that?
Chemistry.
Eh. Oh. This lockpick is sure is juicy.
Let's see. First thing we do is put the sample of liquid into the cauldron, then tap the faucet. And now, we just have to match the color of that liquid with these ingredients. Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of.
Yes, apparently blueberries and sunflowers.
I'll write it down in my notes.
Your job is to ask me about what happened last night.
Do you even know what happened last night?
I know more than you might imagine.
Oh, that sounds useful. Can you tell me? What were you doing?
I was here, in my house, by myself.
What else?
That's it.
Thanks. Just give me a minute to write all this down.
And let's check
Let's
the other
see. First thing we do is put the sample of liquid into the cauldron, then tap the faucet. And now... Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes. That looks pretty similar to last time.
So now we can connect gloves to the murder scene.
I'm into it.
Doesn't a clue.
No, thank you.
Well, all right then. Fuck me, I guess.
Ah, yes. I heard they were sending somebody over. So you're Detective Grimoire.
At your service. Well, kind of. You're a suspect too.
Of course, of course. Feel free to be as
No
suspicious
problem.
as you like. I won't be offended. You can call me Harper.
How did you know my name?
I can only assume I must have read about one of your many exploits. But I think you'll find the swamp to be your greatest challenge.
You mean this murder case? I'm sure I can handle it.
You mean this murder case? I'm sure I can handle it.
The swamp itself has a history that has captured many imaginations, for better or for worse. My advice to you, look to the past. It could be the way forward.
Right, anyway.
So, you sit in this boat all day and sell food to people? To tourists, I guess?
Not just the tourists, but the employees too. To anyone who is hungry or thirsty. I know everyone's favorite foods.
What are they? Oh, and is this a real shipwreck? How did it get here?
I can't expose all the secrets of the swamp. I don't want to spoil your fun.
Is there a secret to this shipwreck?
No.
You just spoiled my fun.
No.
You'll find out there are some secrets worth keeping when you've worked here as long as I have.
Well, how long is that?
I've worked in the swamp almost as long as Mr. Remington. We knew each other for a long time.
Really? So what was his favorite food?
Mr. Remington enjoyed a specialty only I can make. The bog dog. He ate one nearly every day. A real creature of habit, that one.
It looks like a hot dog.
It's similar, but I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. I'm not serving them today.
Why not?
Yesterday I found this strange green powder in my entire supply.
Guess I'm out of luck today. Well, thanks for the information. You've been a real big help.
Wait, take this with you. If you get thirsty, it's the most popular drink in Boggy's Bog. Swamp juice. Try it.
It looks like... It looks... Well, I'll try some later on.
You're in luck. That's my last bottle. A lot of swamp juice has been disappearing from my stock recently. I can only assume I must have been selling them all.
Did something strange happen at the cafe yesterday?
Maybe Burl visited the cafe after... Oh no, wait. Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after... after Harper sold him a bog dog?
Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Hopper sold him a bog dog. Hopper is basically in charge of all the food and drink here in Boggy's Bog. I'll have to ask him about this.
You're going to ask me about what I was doing last night.
I was going to? Were you going to tell me anything?
I was working here at the cafe in the evening, and I had a couple customers. Eventually they all left and I locked up and went home.
Do you lock away everything at night?
Not everything, just the storeroom over there.
You mean that little door on the side of the ship? Is there anything else to lock?
I leave the chairs, tables, and trash can where they are. Lifting things like that is not a job for an old man.
Don't you have anyone to help you?
Mr. Remington liked to keep us down to his skeleton staff. There simply aren't many people who would choose to work in a place like this.
A skeleton staff? Well, that's convenient for him since...
Don't make that joke. I won't laugh.
Damn, Harper. I was just trying to make light of a man's death. I need to get all serious and shit.
I was told Remington left the cafe looking ill last night. Since you seem to be completely in charge of all the food and drink around here, I'm afraid this is something I can't ignore.
He was an old man. His health wasn't perfect. But I'm not arguing with you. I think it is suspicious. What do you think caused it?
What do I think caused it?
The green powder on the bog dog?
A bog dog he ate at the cafe gave him food poisoning.
I keep all my food locked in the storeroom when I'm not here. You think he was poisoned?
I think he was poisoned.
Poisoned by me?
You left the food stocks outside the storeroom. The storeroom was broken into with a lockpick. I have proof that you poisoned his food.
The storeroom was broken into with a lockpick.
A lockpick? I've never encountered a problem like this before. But since last night, am I in a position to doubt a claim like that?
Somebody knew that Remington would eat a bog dog. He ate one every day, right?
Do you suppose this explains the missing bottles of swamp juice as well?
There's a little locked door on the side of the ship. I think it's part of the cafe. A shipwreck? In a swamp? Does that make any sense? And why is there a cafe growing out of the side?
Growing out of the sun. Okay.
Predictably, a trash can. And I just can't resist taking a look inside. The glamorous life of a detective. My favorite part of the job. Maybe there's something underneath the trash in here. Hello, what's this? Just a piece of paper? Or something more sinister?
These look like designs for a boggy costume. What's going on around here? Okay, so we got the flippers and the hands. Just need these 3 parts.
Are we really talking about a swamp creature here?
This costume design that was hidden inside Coils and Co. Fairgrounds? What the fuck? I found in my office. I found in the trash can explains what Burl's black and white photo showed.
The costume design I found in the trash can explains what Burl's black and white photo is showing me. My detective's intuition is kicking in. That black and white photograph, I'm not sure I'm looking at the real Boggy here, and I think these designs I found in the trash can might be the answer. I'll ask around, see if anybody knows anything about this. Oh, and I should start looking for the costume itself. If I can find that, there'll be some pretty impressive evidence.
Chapter 2, A Deadly Disguise.
I have something for you.
Another gift already. Where are you keeping all this stuff? You don't even have pockets in that dress.
I don't need a pocket to carry a key.
What key?
I don't know. You could try it on any door you like. Although, I recommend you try it on the office door.
Remington's office?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sally.
Sorry to interrupt. I can see that you're, hard at work.
You weren't here yesterday.
No, I only just arrived. I know, I was in my office yesterday.
I know. I was in my office yesterday.
You're the detective, right?
I'm a detective.
I'm a detective.
So, that was your hat I saw blowing through here.
You spotted it too.
If you're good at your job, you may have realized that it's kind of dead around here. So I generally notice magical floating detective hats. Oh, and don't worry, you look better without it.
How do you know?
Oh, I have a good imagination.
I didn't expect to see someone your age working in a place like this. But then again, I didn't expect there to be a place like this in a place like this.
I only started working here this year anyway. It's temporary. Just running the gift shop to earn a little extra money. Don't ask how I ended up here.
I'll save that question for a different day. You don't seem at home here, exactly.
I hate it. This place is disgusting.
Come on, you don't think it's kind of beautiful?
You would say that. You only just got here. You'll get sick of it.
If I wasn't here, I'd be stuck in my office doing paperwork.
At least at your office, you don't have to bring spare clothes every day. It's impossible to leave this place without being covered in dirt.
Challenge accepted. I have
Buggy
a
costume?
theory that the murderer was wearing a costume. A homemade outfit designed to look like the swamp creature.
I've never seen anything so ridiculous. You've never seen me in that.
I know it's not exactly the latest fashion, but...
No, you'd never see me in that. It would cover me up entirely.
That's the point of a disguise?
Look, detective. When you have legs like mine, you don't want to be wearing disguises.
Is that why you always wear those black leggings?
You've only just met me and you're making assumptions about what I always wear.
And making assumptions is the fun part of being a detective.
Well, you're right. I always wear these.
A weird bit of flirtatiousness to this I never noticed before.
When you have a moment free from your busy schedule, I need to ask you about last night.
I know, but it won't help. I worked here during the day, then left my gift shop and went home in the evening, same as every day.
You just leave your gift shop here when you go?
No, I put it in my pocket.
Yeah, seriously though, as much as I appreciate sarcasm, I think I'd get in trouble if I wrote something like that down in my notes.
Well, look, you've noticed the gift shop has wheels and you're thinking, oh, she's pretty lazy to leave it lying around. But if you want to try pushing this thing through the swamp, be my guest. And I can't lock it up, so I just leave it here overnight. Nobody's ever stolen any of this lousy merchandise anyway. I even left my spare clothes here when I went home last night.
You left them here? By the gift shop?
Yeah, it's no big deal. They were all still here this morning. Kind of.
Kind of?
I think someone played a stupid joke, and my spare black leggings were covered in some disgusting swamp slime when I found them in the bag this morning. If you're going to take my clothes and mess them up, then just keep them. I don't want them back. You know what I mean?
I absolutely do.
Well, that's part of the costume, obviously.
It's a humble gift shop wagon. Let's take a look. Bonky dolls, bonky toys, bonky postcards. Yeah, this stuff isn't half bad. What on earth? This thing doesn't seem to belong here at all. It's some kind of roughly made costume head, I think. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside. 2 clues for the price of 1, I guess.
Got the boggy headpiece. And it's got a bit of lining from the curtain. Wrong way. I'm still missing somebody. The hell? Might as well head into the office.
Even though I have the key, this might not be as simple as I'd hoped. This door has 2 keyholes. So, which key should I use in each one?
Okay. I know that seems convenient, but I swear I just guessed.
Remington's desk is covered in drawings and maps and notes. It's all about Boggy. He was obsessed. An ink bottle was spilled into his work. I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose. Yeesh, it's a bit of a mess. Perhaps there's something underneath those drawings. It's a letter Remington was writing before something caused him to spill his ink bottle. My dear fellow, I received your note 2 weeks ago.
I want to know who was like, wait a second, what if he wasn't referring to the guy as a fellow? What if that was their name? Holy shit!
But I've only recently found the time to do the appropriate research on the matter. I feel like my time in this awful swamp might finally come to a close, all due to the simple realization, the rest is obscured. What a tease. There's a map of the swamp lying on the desk. It's been annotated in a few places. It's a note addressed to Richard Remington. The handwriting is immaculate. Richard, our man of the world. A little help is in order. We're worried that the efforts regarding our elusive little friend might be in vain. Send word when you can. The letter is signed FF. And
maybe not.
attached is a blurry little picture. It's some kind of metallic insect.
Oh wow, they really had a lot of this like set up early on, didn't
The
they?
whole thing is a mystery. It's a letter with my, but if I It's there's a map of the swamp. Vincent Vanderpeer's business card. There's a couple of numbers scribbled on the back.
Hi, Milo.
Vincent Van. There's a an old hunting rifle, discarded carelessly near the window. This isn't the kind of thing I can ignore. Photos and paintings line the wall above the fireplace.
Hi, Milo. You want to say hi to the peoples?
But one of the frames is empty. Wait a second. What are these pieces on the floor underneath it? This photo is ripped, but it looks important. If I can piece it together again, maybe it'll reveal a secret.
You know, I gotta say, I'm considering how much they already had, they, clearly were setting up for Tangle Tower. I'm a little disappointed that none of these guys seem to be, none of these people seem to be a member of the group from the picture in Tangle Tower. Why isn't this one sticking? There we go.
This photograph, it's a young Remington, and then some other men I don't know. They're all holding rifles. Maybe I can ask Harper about it.
Fuzz Hunting Club, young Remington stands among them. They're all holding rifles.
These animals, they're not... I don't recognize any of them. This is the creepiest office I've ever been in. Hunting memorabilia. Claws, teeth.
Milo, please get away from the socket.
It would be an impressive collection if it wasn't so disturbing.
No. Get... Okay. Good. Good boy.
I don't know what's in that jar, and I wish it wasn't in there. I'm gonna stop looking at it now. The open window looks over the wooden planks outside. Oh, and on one side, a part of the curtain has been ripped off.
Who is this one person here that I haven't found, apparently?
I probably shouldn't leave.
Milo, where are you going? What are you up to? Are you trying to get my tote bag from GalaxyCon, you little so-and-so?
I probably shouldn't leave until I've searched a bit more thoroughly.
Oh, dang it. Milo, go on. There, thank you. The hell else?
The open window... Something... There are signs of a struggle between the desk and the window. It's a sharp metal poker for a fireplace, hidden in the shadows. Something about those three prongs. I feel like I just stumbled across an incredibly important piece of evidence. Have I uncovered a secret in here?
Okay. The hunting photo is historical evidence that Richard Remington was a ghost! Murder of the victim was found at the crime scene, belonged to a secret society.
The hunting photo is historical evidence that Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. I'm getting a strong feeling that Remington might be the bad guy in this story. If he wasn't already dead, I would have loved to ask him a couple of questions. I should ask around, see if I can gather any information about his motives for being here.
Chapter 3. Richard Remington's Real Reasons.
These animals... This is the creep. It's a something about... Hunting memorabilia. It would...
What?
Photos and... One of... Wait, is this... And some... Maybe I can... Photo... Maybe I can...
Then why is it still saying... hell with it. Oh.
You've arrived at a bad time, my friend. For once, they don't actually want tourists walking around this place.
I always arrive at a bad time. It's what I do. I'm a detective, not a tourist.
My apologies. It's just, You have the same wide-eyed expression as the kids that come here. Running around, spending their parents' money, you know.
Well, you know, it's not every day I visit a swamp full of such unique specimens.
It's no problem. You're just thinking what we all thought when we arrived for the first time.
Why didn't they put in a bathroom?
No, you're thinking, this place is beautiful. What a lucky man I am to be here.
I am I? Well, if you say so.
Edward Everstone, at your service.
That's a pretty cool name. Can I call you Ed?
You don't need to. Everyone just calls me Echo.
Why? Because you're a good swimmer? I don't get it. Why? Because it gives you an elevated sense of purpose. Why? Because you'd bounce if I threw you at a wall? Ooh, these are all gold.
Why? Because you'd bounce if I threw you against a wall?
What? No. Because I always come back. Again and again, until my job is done.
You're protesting, right?
I certainly am. And now that you're here, I'm getting you involved.
What does that mean? Yeah, I haven't got time to hold up signs for you. I'm sorry.
You simply have to hear my message and take it with you.
Go ahead. I'm all ears. Plus, I have a little notebook.
What was the
Plus, I have
first
a
thing
little
you
notebook.
felt when you saw the sign for Boggy's Bog looming over you?
Well, I thought it
Not
was...
thought. Felt.
I felt... Well, something seemed wrong. There wouldn't be a tourist attraction in the middle of a swamp like this. There shouldn't be.
My job is done. Clearly your brain is working perfectly, Detective.
So you're against the tourist attraction? Yeah, let's see. You'd rather this area was kept as a natural habitat, right?
Right again. And that precise word, habitat. First and foremost, I'm protesting for animal rights.
Well, okay, I'm following you, but it's not like they're cutting down trees or anything like that, right?
All animals deserve the right to live in peace, and I promise you, on a normal day, this place is far from peaceful.
Are you talking about the swamp creature? About Boggy?
A creature like that. He's earned the right to be left alone. We're fools to invite ourselves into his home like this on a daily basis, assuming he's not going to mind. Assuming he'll keep to himself and let us walk around with his face on our t-shirts.
Well, I agree. I think he should be left alone. But like you said, he can probably handle himself. And if no one has even seen him in 60 years, I don't really see the problem.
Unlike you, Detective, I never had an academic calling in life. I was never even a talented artist or musician or anything. So instead, I made the decision to stand up for those who were getting a raw deal.
Alright.
You come here every day.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm only going to ask you about one of those days. What were you doing yesterday evening?
I was here at my protest spot until fairly late. Then I went to get something to eat at Harper's Cafe before I...
Wait, you ate at the cafe here? Doesn't supporting the tourist attraction like that kind of go against your protest?
A man has to eat, doesn't he? I don't think the meager contributions of one person are going to keep this place afloat. Especially now.
And you're sleeping here? Doesn't it get cold at night?
Well, I came prepared, of course. I usually find myself with 1 or 2 extra layers to wear. Most of this bulk is padding, I promise you.
I'm sure it is. So you stayed here the whole night?
I'm sure it is, fat boy.
And I admit I may have heard some stranger than usual sounds floating around the swamp last night.
What kind of sounds?
It's impossible to say. This place fills with the most terrifying sounds at night. Hundreds of animals, some tiny, some much larger, awaken and make their own protests. Every night until the sun rises in the morning.
Insects make noises at night. Okay, I've written it down. What can
Boggy
you tell me
costume?
about these designs for a costume? A Boggy
It's
costume.
Boggy! I must admit, I've been a fan of his before I ever came to the swamp.
A fan? So you're interested in cryptozoology?
Oh, no, I meant, well, Boggy has been in all kinds of cartoons and comic strips. He's one of the greatest characters of the last 100 years. I've got some comics in my tent. You really should see.
But he was only discovered 60 years ago.
Oh, That's true. Well, I bound it up.
But what about his costume? Have you seen anyone wearing it?
I can honestly say I've never seen anyone wearing anything like that. And I'm a very observant person.
So what did Mr. Remington think of you? I mean, protesting in the middle of a swamp every day.
It wasn't his swamp. If he ever truly thought it was, then he was even more of a fool than he seemed.
But he didn't like you hanging around, right?
That man was exceptionally skilled at ignoring me. Ignoring anything he didn't like.
So, what, he just left you alone?
He expected me to get bored and go home. He figured I'd get sick of this place and he'd have it back to himself.
But he didn't want it to himself, did he? He wanted lots of people to come visit all the time, surely.
I'm sure it says that in the brochure. Yes.
Anything to show him? I don't think so. Go ahead and go to the treehouse to check out the some of the new. Oh well,
I found
probably
these designs for a boggy costume. Do you know anything about them?
You're asking me because you can tell I'm experienced with needlecraft and sew my own clothes?
No.
Sure.
But that's a good reason. Let's go with that.
Well, these designs look like they should have stayed where they were.
In the trash?
On paper.
Oh, how come?
Whoever drew them didn't really know what they were doing.
You would have done it differently?
Of course. I am a seamstress. There was a time when I considered sewing my craft, my livelihood.
Really?
When Richard Remington arrived in the swamp years ago, I offered him some of my handmade fabric as a peace offering. I don't think he cared much for it. Most likely he threw it away. A pointless gift from some strange woman.
Well, actually.
If you bring me something with liquid on it, I might be able to help you.
Oh.
You've been here so long, you must have crossed paths with Remington a few times. What did you think of him?
That man was a threat to the swamp. We'll be better off without him. Hopefully the curtain will fall on his little tourist attraction as well.
Better off? With a killer on the loose now?
There have been murderers loose in the swamp before.
What are you talking about?
In my time here, I've seen the swamp invaded by men. By hunters. Several times. They're relentless.
What were they hunting? Wait, what about Boggy? Is that why no one has seen him in 60 years?
They always fell short of their ultimate goal. That just meant they came back again and again, doing more harm each time.
But this area is protected by law, right?
It is now, but some men have no respect for laws, of any kind. They tried to get me to leave my home here. I stood my ground.
Obviously. But this whole area is a tourist attraction now. I doubt Remington would have allowed anyone to march into Boggy's Bog with a gun and start hunting down his main attraction.
Yeah. Unless he was one of those men.
Let's see. First, and tap.
Doop, doop.
And now...
Then doop, and doop.
Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes. Was that the same as last time? This was the exact same liquid. Let's see. First, then tap.
Doop, doop.
And now...
You don't need to tell me every time, Grim.
Now I... that was dead. Let's see. First, then tap. And now... Got it. Now I'll write it a swamp slime. It's all the same. It's the exact same liquid again. There's something about that green slime.
The fireplace poker is proof that the swamp creature wait. The fireplace poker is proof that black leggings are covered in the same slime.
The fireplace poker is proof that the black leggings are covered in the same swamp slime. Ooh, that's...
Fireplace poker found at the crime scene, and the black leggings are covered in the same swamp.
The fireplace poker
There we go.
found at the crime scene and the black leggings are covered in the same swamp slime. Sally's leggings. They link her with the crime scene. I'll have to ask her about it. So what can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
I didn't have one. I think I spoke to him twice, ever. He usually seemed really busy, but more like preoccupied.
Preoccupied? Like he was thinking about something else? Something that wasn't...
I find it weird that...
Who can say? What do old men think about?
What? Are you implying that I know the answer to that?
It's weird that they could get the voice for Detective Grimoire back, but I think they've got a different woman doing the voice for Sally in Tangle Tower. And subsequently, the mermaid's tongue.
The black leggings you found in your bag this morning, they're covered in the same slime that was on the murder weapon.
Everything in this swamp is covered in slime. What's your angle, Grimoire?
This exact same slime hasn't been found anywhere else. The black leggings were part of the murderer's costume.
Your black leggings were part of the murderer's costume.
Costume? Is that why someone took them out of my bag last night?
Well, I don't have proof someone else took them.
If I had been wearing them when I committed a crime, do you think I would hand them over to a detective the second he shows up? Besides, look at them. What do you notice?
They're loose and stretched.
They're loose and stretched.
That's right, someone else. Someone larger than me has worn these. They're stretched out, especially at the waist. It's pretty obvious.
So, let's see. Somebody stole them to use in their boggy costume, and then put them back in your bag when they were done?
If you say so. It's not my job to know all the details. It's my job to sell souvenirs. Do you want a souvenir?
Oh, my, yes, but only if you choose one for me.
You look like you could use something to wind up. You can take this one.
Small plastic toy sold at the gift shop has the cartoony appearance of Boggy. Boggy's feet are hidden in a bucket of water. Okay. Oh. Talk to Harper.
Someone made a costume to look like the creature. They must have known it would get a reaction for sure. But I wonder if they planned things to go this far.
When you're finished theorizing, I was going to show you these sketches I found in the trash can right next to your cafe.
It does seem like someone was designing a costume. A disguise, perhaps.
I don't know.
Try to think why somebody would do such a thing.
I don't know.
What could they achieve with it?
I don't know.
Not yet.
You said you knew Remington?
He and I knew each other for a long time. I came to work at his tourist attraction in the early days, when he needed help.
Well, what kept you here?
I know most people wouldn't want to work in a place like this. I actually like it here, so I was happy to oblige.
You might like it, but I still don't see why anyone would build a tourist attraction here.
Mr. Remington has his reasons. He probably had several. I don't presume to know what they all were. Even though we were friends, he had some secrets, some hobbies, that I was happy to let him keep secret.
Secrets? Hobbies? A secret hobby?
He was a man with a dream, I can tell you that much.
So,
No, didn't mean to come here.
I
Might as
found
well.
these designs for a costume, a boggy costume.
Aha, the legendary swamp creature.
Yeah, that's the one.
But these are just a child's drawings, are they not?
You think?
Perhaps. It's difficult to tell.
You
What
saw
do you think of
Remington
Richard?
last night, but had you met him before?
What do you think
you know
of
him?
Dick?
I've never really spoken with him, but we've come into contact a few times. Vincent likes to handle that kind of work, and I like to let him.
What do you think of this place? The tourist attraction, I mean.
I can't say I like the idea of a natural area like this becoming commercialized.
I know. I just can't understand why anyone would even try.
I think Mr. Remington had his reasons. He looked like a man with a couple of secrets.
Like what?
I have no idea. If I knew, they wouldn't be secrets.
You gotta get smart with me. Okay, got all that.
What can you tell me about these designs for a boggy costume?
Nothing whatsoever.
You're sure you didn't see anything like this while you were filming yesterday? Wait, hold on a minute. What if
Don't you dare ask.
This costume isn't your doing, is it? Made for your movie, I mean?
My friend, there will be no costumed idiots within the viewfinder of my camera. I can assure you that.
What about your boggy movie? Isn't that gonna be, like, a guy in a costume, or a puppet, or one of those weird robot things?
Technology has been kind to people like me. We no longer have any need for such tomfoolery. I can create a perfectly believable swamp creature within the confines of a computer. Much cheaper, too.
Don't know about all that.
I suppose you've met with our murder victim, Richard Remington.
Yes, I've been in and out of this place for a while now. Naturally, I've crossed paths with Remington a number of times. Good value, that one. A real raconteur, you know.
You liked him? So far, I'm getting the impression he wasn't the most popular guy around here.
Well, that much is clear, isn't it? The man obviously slipped up somewhere, made an enemy or two, and bam, that's that. You just can't be too careful, can you?
Yeah, I think he did have an enemy or two. Or three. But you liked him.
I respected him. Good head on his shoulders. Good business sense, that man. He understood how to make things work for him.
This
him
is a
about the
really
costumes.
cramped museum. Not... I found these designs for a boggy costume.
Oh, some ridiculous new merchandise for tourists to waste their money on.
No, I believe the murderer was dressed like this last night when they attacked Remington.
If they were trying to scare him out of the swamp, they should have spent more time making an accurate design.
What do you mean?
Well, this design is some bizarre hybrid between the real creature and the cartoon character. It simply hasn't been researched properly.
What's wrong with it?
Well, those flippers? Pure guesswork. Nothing but foolish imagination. Nobody knows what Boggy's feet look like. No footprint has ever been recorded.
So tell me, Special Agent Folder, how would you do a better job researching it if nothing has ever been recorded?
Oh, well, that's... You know, I mean, it's all a matter of taking the time to... It's just that... But there's no way anyone would believe... Nothing but foolishness.
Sound like some salty Johns to me.
What can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
We didn't really have one, and now we definitely don't have one. But look, all I can say is that he was a coward who enjoyed watering down history for his own benefit.
What does that mean?
It means there are some chapters of this swamp's history that he never wanted anyone to know about.
Did he like you sniffing around this museum all the time?
I don't think he knew, to be honest. And even if he did, there's nothing he could have done about it. He has no right to this building. He knows that. We both know that.
Why not? It was part of his tourist attraction, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Fuck you mean it wasn't?
A good example of how Boggy's feet are never shown in any form. They often use that little red bucket to hide them. Well, this design is some bizarre hybrid between the real creature and the cartoon character.
Who have I not gotten yet? Did her challenge? I don't have Echo's challenge yet.
So,
Or Lady Weybridge.
What?
Alright,
so,
A pair of... So,
if I cared about that person, I would know.
Alright, fine. Oh, there was someone else I haven't gotten the Echo.
Oh, yes, I know him. He occasionally asks me about the history and biology of the swamp creature. I explained to him what the real Boggy looks like and how they changed his appearance for the cartoon character.
why did he ask about that?
Because some people are naturally curious. You should give it a try sometime.
Oh, hey.
Aha! The great detective returns. Did you run out of ideas? Need a little push in the right direction?
No need to push, but the direction would help.
No need to push me, but the direction would help.
Like it or not, I'm here to help you.
I get it. You give me a map, then you magically disappear and hide behind a tree for an hour. You want me to be impressed?
Did you talk to all the suspects yet?
I'm working on it. You can't rush these things, you know.
Have you noticed anything unusual?
I notice that this is going to take longer than I originally planned, and I'm getting the feeling that I wasn't wrong about this tourist attraction.
What do you mean?
I had a hard time believing there could be a place like this here in a dark corner of a swamp. It didn't make sense, and it still doesn't.
Some things don't make sense straight away. You need to look a little closer.
At what? The mud? The water? The trees?
Nope. They've been here for years, and they're not to blame. They belong here.
She's gone again. Hiding in a bush, no doubt. I wonder if she'll ever tell me something I can actually understand.
Yeah, anyway.
to someone who doesn't live in a tree.
Alright, how about
A
you?
fascinating old woman who lives in a wonderful treehouse. I heard she wasn't so keen on visitors, though.
Don't know why I thought I would get something from that. Bridge Cafe.
It's here a lot. I think he's been putting less effort into his protests recently, which is a shame. I think it's an admirable cause.
Do you talk to him much?
Not really. Sometimes he likes to talk, just casual conversation. He asks how business is going and what everyone likes to eat, nothing of real importance.
Present the profile.
I don't know what to say.
Hey. Yeah, I have a pretty good view of him from here. Anyone supporting animal rights is okay in my book. His protests used to have a bit more energy, though. He spends more time inside his tent these days.
What's he doing in there?
I'm happy to say, I don't know.
There might be something I can ask Echo about.
Echo spends less time holding his process sign and more time in his tent.
Echo spends less time holding the protest sign and more time in his tent. I wonder if Echo can tell me what he's been doing that's more important than his protest.
Present profile, Lady
Is that
Wayward.
one of the other suspects?
Dang it. I have to go to the protest.
Oh?
I heard you've been spending less time protesting recently and more time, in your tent. Normally I wouldn't pry, but it's my job to ask.
Untouched people have even noticed something like that. I usually get the impression everyone else is doing their best to ignore me.
So, you admit it's true?
You can put your notebook away. There isn't really any reason for it. Nothing worth writing down, at least.
Well, if it's not worth writing down, maybe it's worth hearing.
In that case, you'd forget it.
How do you know? Maybe it would echo in my mind.
Look, if you take a guess and get it right, I promise not to deny it.
Let's work out why Echo was hidden away in his tent. Notebook time.
I have a silly nickname. I love that it's the ghost from Haunt the House, which is another game by SFB Games.
You've been in your tent, hiding from Boggy.
Why not?
Is it?
And normally I wouldn't pry, but it's my
Untouched people.
So,
Nothing worth.
well, if it's not. How do No.
Texas?
You've been hiding in your tent from the tax man.
Why not?
So you're not going to actually give me a fucking... Hey, okay.
You're wasting your time with that one.
Uh-huh. I really don't have an opinion. My apologies.
How about you?
I'm a busy man.
I don't think it's a window, but this side.
What do I do? What do I do?
So, Are you asking about the cartoon character? Because I have
No, I think I'm asking about the actual creature. What's the difference anyway?
everything!
Actually, that might be it.
Show it to someone who doesn't live in a tree. I have nothing good to say about that man, so I won't say anything at all. I recognize some of those men, unfortunately. They've hunted in the swamp before.
Before it became a protected area?
Before that, yes, and one of them after that. They're samples of flowers. 2 of them you don't see very much anymore. And one of them only grows around the museum. You can put that away. I can't help you with it. I'm not even sure who that is.
This is a 60-year-old journal. It was on display in a museum.
I know what it is.
I thought you might.
Hey, here we
I'm
go.
supposed to look to the past, right?
Richard Remington founded Boggy's Bog when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 20 years ago.
Richard Remington founded Boggy's Bog when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 20 years ago. No.
No? Oh,
I'm
right,
starting
20.
to piece together the history of this place. Richard Remington founded Boggy's Bog when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 60 years ago. No.
Ah. Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 60 years ago.
Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 60 years ago. Lady Weybridge. She was living here when Boggy was first discovered by the explorer.
There we go.
I've been looking into the history of this place.
Oh, really? Did you find anything?
Yeah. You.
You must be confused. You found me today when you barged into my house. Remember?
You were living in the swamp when the explorer visited 60 years ago.
You were already living in the swamp when the explorer came here 60 years ago.
The explorer? That man they talk about in the museum?
The one who originally discovered Boggy. You know who I'm talking about. His sketches and notes are the only real evidence we have for this creature.
You already have his journal. You learned to read, I assume. What else do you need?
I think you wrote something in the journal yourself. I need you to tell me if the journal is fake. There's a page missing from the journal. I think you know where it is.
There's a page missing from the journal.
Ba-boom!
I think you know where it is.
Why on earth would I know something like that?
Because you were the only person here when the explorer visited the swamp. I have a suspicion that the swamp creature wasn't the only thing he discovered.
You're suggesting he gave me a page from the back of his journal? Or what, that I stole it?
You stole it from him before he left the swamp. You took it from the journal while it was on display in the museum. I really have no idea. If I could see it, I might be able to make up my mind.
I really have no idea. If I could see it, I might be able to make up my mind.
It doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs here, with me. You understand?
What if I promise I'll return it after I finish clearing up this mess?
Then I'll show it to you.
Is this you? He drew you into his journal? It's beautiful.
60 years ago, yes. He left the page with me. We agreed the rest of the world would manage without it.
I think there's something on the back. What's this? Footprints.
Lost page ripped out from the Explorer's Journal, given to Weybridge by the Explorer 60 years ago, features a drawing of Lady Weybridge at 20 years old. Also features drawings of Boggy's feet and footprints. He has 2 toes at the front and 1 at the back. This page proves the footprints outside the office were not made by the real Boggy. Okie dokie then.
I think it's time I went to talk to Officer James.
I'm missing 1 clue, but yeah. Fuck it. I actually think I might know where it is, actually.
Are these flower petals?
Nope. Alright. Oh, hey.
You again. Ready with some cryptic advice, no doubt?
Don't let them take him.
Who? The murderer? That's my job. I gotta make sure that
No, the creature. Don't take him away. This place is his home.
Oh, Boggy. Hey, don't worry. I didn't really believe he could be, responsible for this mess.
You didn't?
Well, no.
Mainly because I didn't believe he existed at all.
Mainly because I didn't believe he existed at all.
So, he won't get in trouble? You won't have to leave?
Well, he's been out here for what, 60 years, hasn't he? And stayed out of trouble for that long. I have a feeling some detective isn't going to change all that in one day.
Well, in that case, he says, thank you.
Anywho.
It's an old statue.
You finally returned. Well, did you find the swamp creature? Where is he?
I didn't find him.
I didn't find him.
What? You're not getting paid to wander about aimlessly, Grimoire. Get back out there.
I don't need to.
Need to.
Final chapter. Boggy's criminal record.
Why not? I thought he was our prime suspect.
Well, not anymore.
Didn't you find photographic evidence of Boggy from last night? Let me see that photo. If that's not Boggy, what is it?
It's this.
I found designs for the costume in a trash can. Not only that, I collected all the pieces of the costume myself. Well, nearly all of them. There's still the one that...
But the footprints at the scene of the crime! How can you prove these don't belong to a real creature? What's this?
Missing
I thought
page.
there were no records of a footprint anywhere.
No public records. The footprints at the crime scene don't match the ones on this page. They were just a product of these slippers. A part of the costume.
But Grimoire, this costume, it doesn't have claws of any kind. How do you explain the 3 wounds on the victim's chest?
The prongs
Pitchfork.
match up with the wounds perfectly. The handle's even covered in slime, see?
Ah, but this swamp slime was one of the reasons Boggy became a suspect in the first place. Surely this only incriminates the creature further.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that slime, it's not exactly what you think.
It's swamp
This stuff
juice.
is an uncanny resemblance to the so-called swamp slime. A bunch of it was stolen from the storeroom of the cafe, which reminds me.
What is that exactly?
A poisoned hot dog. It's the second reason that the murderer broke into the storeroom. He put this green powder on the entire supply, just to make sure.
To make sure of what?
To make sure no one could eat at the cafe, to make sure everyone in the swamp would be poisoned, to make sure that Remington got ill and had to return to his office.
To make sure Remington got ill and had to return to his office.
Remington went back to his office? Alone?
The final chapter. The murder.
I've been looking through your evidence, Grimoire. One piece in particular seems critical to me. I think we need to work out.
Video footage? Vincent Vanderpeer filmed it last night, at the exact moment of the murder, I believe.
Well, exactly. I think we can both agree these sounds in the background. They're essential in our mystery. Could you talk me through them? Just rearrange the descriptions on the left to match the sounds on the right. Drag them around and keep swapping until you're happy with the order. And if you want to hear the sounds again, you can tap on them.
No problem. I can always check my case file if I want to go over my notes.
Okay, so obviously Remington rips off the curtain fabric as he falls, the ripping sound. Remington cries out in shock as Boggy appears. Goes in shock as he falls backwards. Culprit grabs the metal poker and stabs Remington. Remington fires his hunting rifle at the culprit. Remington lands on the planks outside of his office. Oh, wait. No, wait. No, this is right. Okay.
I think that's it.
Ah, excellent. There's just two small details bothering me. First of all, if Remington ripped off a piece of his curtains, why wasn't it found at the crime scene? What happened to it?
It was inside the mask.
Why wasn't it found at the crime scene?
Turns out the
inside the
murderer
headpiece.
took that piece of fabric and concealed it inside the head of the costume. Then he fled the crime scene to hide all the parts in different areas of the swamp.
Ah, well, that's my problem. If Remington fired his rifle, how did the assailant survive and manage to escape? Did Remington miss his target?
At point blank? A man of his experience? I don't think so. In fact, the answer to that question is the very last link in our chain. The one thing that has eluded me so far. I'll drag the clue items from the left onto my drawing here, and we'll see what happens when we compare the pieces I collected with the original design I found.
So yeah, it's that we're missing the middle piece, and apparently basically the middle piece was thick enough to keep the assailant from being shot to death.
Wait, you never found the body piece, the torso.
You're right, and I never would have found it. Not lying around, not like the others.
Sorry, just give me one sec. Okay.
But what does this have to do with the murderer surviving the rifle shot?
This torso is probably made up of some thick material, something covering the culprit's entire upper body. I believe it may have even been enough to
soften the impact from a bullet. Aha!
Exactly.
Well, let's put your theory to the test. Where is that last piece of the costume? But how? We looked everywhere. Not a single clue.
Simple. He's still wearing it.
I don't know what you want with me. Sounds like you two were smart enough to uncover the real criminal in this swamp, and lucky enough to have somebody else deal with him for you. You worked it out. He had his rifle on him. He got half a glance at me and pulled the trigger without hesitation.
But why would he do that? You were dressed as Buggy. He shouldn't be pointing his gun at a unique scientific specimen, not to mention his main attraction.
You're right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Not unless you're in on the secret.
The hunting photo leads me to believe Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy.
The hunting photo leads me to believe Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy.
The final chapter. The hunter and the hunted. Wait, wasn't the last one the final chapter? The fuck?
A secret society, an order of hunters, seeking out mysterious and elusive creatures.
The Order goes further than this one man, and much further than this one swamp.
The whole thing is kind of distressing. I knew something was wrong as soon as I stepped into that office.
I'm glad you've finally come around. It's not just
But what about Remington? He was a member of this order?
He made Boggy his own personal project, his own obsession. For years he hunted the creature, the potential perfect addition to his collection.
But he owned the tourist attraction. He set it up himself, didn't he?
He did. It was just his way of forming a legal loophole. Since the area became protected, he and his friends were unable to come here for hunting anymore. Boggy's Bog was just a front for his own little game. A man pursuing a creature.
A creature that might not even exist.
And that's why Remington kept a rifle nearby at all times?
Well, exactly. He didn't want to take any chances.
Now, don't you see? I did this place a service. Did Boggy a service. That creature, he can live in peace again.
Can he? You tried to frame him for murder. You wanted everyone to think he was some kind of ruthless predator?
Well, think about it. Once he became suspected of murder, they'd have no choice but to shut this whole place down. Everyone would finally realize they had no business here.
But he's not a killer.
But he's not a killer. You're the one who...
Detective.
It's
finished. Well, don't be angry. You should be glad. It's finally time to leave the swamp. You have another job to do.
I don't know.
Not that it makes any difference to somebody like you, but I never intended to kill him. Just to scare him. Convince him Boggy wasn't going to let him live here in peace any longer. But, true to form, he had his rifle on him. You worked out the rest yourself.
It makes a difference.
Well, Mr. Everstone, I'm afraid you'll still have to come with us. Fortunately, there's a police station just a few miles down the...
Hey, wait!
That's right, Boggy, you show him what for. Hi. Bye. Hey, my hat.
Looks like you solved more than one mystery tonight.
Thanks, Boggy, for keeping my hat safe. Oh, man. See, that was the first game in the Detective Grimoire series. Or no, it wasn't. But technically it was. You know, the creators of the series really don't consider the Flash game to be canon. I'm still gonna play it at some point, but yeah.
Grimoire.
Well, what did they decide to do?
We had Mr. Everstone questioned. He was happy to tell us everything he knew. A number of rumors going around the department have been confirmed.
And Remington's office?
Searched down to the last detail. And well, we agree with you, but I know what you're thinking. I'd love to put an end to it, just the same as you. But there's always...
Are we going after them?
We better be.
I do have one question. Why was the little girl not in Tangle Tower at all? I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, that is going to be it for... Ooh, achievements. So let me get this straight. You kept the whole thing of me getting 100% from previous, but I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's Twitch stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching this on Twitch, please consider commenting, subscribing, sharing, and dinging the bell. All of that really helps out the channel and lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider commenting... Wait, I got confused somewhere along the way. If you're watching this on Twitch, please consider following and when available, subscribing. All of that. That would really help out the channel and let me know that you guys... let me know that you guys are enjoying the content I'm putting out. We're actually not that far off from y'all being able to subscribe. I think it's like 3 more subscribers or 3 more followers and y'all can start subscribing. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider following... please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and dinging the bell. All of that really helps out the channel and lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out. If you are watching this on YouTube, there should be an end card right about now with 3 links on it. 1 to my YouTube channel, 1 to a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and 1 to probably the Detective Grimoire playlist. And that'll include... Currently that includes this game and my 2 Tangle Tower streams. Consider checking out the Twitch channel where I occasionally upload clips from the stream, as well as do little D&D sketches. Also, the Twitch stream gets exclusive streams of its own, and in fact, later tonight, I will be playing Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Mainly as an excuse to talk to some people on TikTok without, having to think. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye now.